Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak, your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach, and it has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from that mental prison that you find yourself in and build a life and a business and or a career that you're not only proud of but excited to wake up to every single day. A life and a business and a career that you are obsessed with. And one of the ways I help you do that is I go live every week at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time-ish in this Facebook group called Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth with a card reading. And yes, I know today I'm a little bit late, but I was having an amazing conversation with one of our group members who is ready to get her shit together in her life and work on what needs and ready to be worked on. So one of the ways I help everyone to get their shit together is card readings on Monday. So today I'm doing Shaman's Dream. This is a deck that I actually like and enjoy myself, and it's become one of my go-to decks recently, not only because of my own dreams and those vivid, those realistic dreams, and especially after our cat had passed away in March, that I have had so many, almost every other day I have dreams of him, and every time I see him in a dream, not only am I aware that I'm dreaming, I'm aware that he is no longer here, and I feel him, especially like when I'm petting and holding him, as if he is actually in my arms, his essence. And it really is a beautiful reminder of energy, how just because someone is no longer physically here, that energetically their energy is still here with us, and we can actually feel it and sense it, and we can in a way touch it. Maybe not in the real world where I can pretend he's here and pet him, but in my dreams where I see him and I touch him, that he is actually there. So Shaman's Dream, let's see what they have for us for today, for this week. Upside down, and Dragon's Hoard, protecting the future. That's a beautiful card. All of these cards are beautiful. I mean, these people, I don't see at a glance who created it, but whoever creates these cards, they do an amazing job translating what the meaning of the card is through the image itself. Alberto Villaldo and Colette Baron Reed. That's the names of the people who created the cards. Okay. Let's see. Dragon's Hoard. 12. And I prefer decks of cards that are easy to find the card, and I don't have to guess where it is in the book. Like, give me the number and I can find a number right here. Hey Rebecca. Rebecca says buenos dias. Still over 100 degrees here in Los Angeles. It's a bit scary at this, as this is not the usual climate for us ever, let alone in mid-September. So meaning, like, with a lot of heat comes a lot of rain, and it's not a usual climate for you guys, whereas for us it's actually colder than it usually is here in Ontario, where, I mean, I don't see it, and we do things a little different. You guys do in Fahrenheit, we do in degrees. I think it's just 12 degrees maximum today, so it's not that warm at all. It's like sweater weather where we gotta wear sweaters. And if you can sense some heat this way, I would appreciate it, because this cold is not usual for this time of the year here either. So let's get on with the unusual, shall we? The Dragon's Hoard, protecting the future, legacy, true riches. The first thing that comes to mind when I talk about true riches is not money. It is absolutely not money. It's our family. It's those people that we care and love about, that just think about the person that you love most and they're gone. Wouldn't you give all the money in the world to have them back? So what is really the meaning and the definition for all of us of the riches? What makes us feel rich? It's experiences and relationships. It's love. We have this dictated story that has been given to us through a bunch of different programs that tells us that money is the most important thing. That's what riches is, but it is not. There's so much more to it. Money is just a tool. It's just energy that we get to exchange for things that we want to experience. That's what money is. And when we work on our money stories and we shift it from lack to abundance, and we see money for what it is, that it is just a tool that allows us to experience the things that we want to experience in life, then we really start living a much more freer life, and we start to break away from that system and that program or programs that dictate our unhappiness through lack of finances, where in some cases it might be true, but to an extent, to a limit. And we, if one person shows us that we can change our circumstances, that we're not stuck where we are, that if one person shows us that they came from the worst type of upbringing and with no money in their life whatsoever to then becoming someone well known and great and an abundance of money, then if one person can do it, then anyone can do it. It's just a matter of figuring out how you will get there. Not exactly how they got there, but how you will get there and how you will enjoy the process of getting there. They had their own process. They had their own journey that brought them to that destination, and you will have your own. You're not meant to follow the footsteps in the exact same way. Yes, follow the footsteps, but don't be scared to veer off the path so you can find yourself and your path. So, in a dragon's hoard, jewels and precious objects scatter the ground, while ancient scrolls inscribed with the wisdom teachings lie within reach. This is a rich opportunity, and you can fill your satchel with the treasures you like best. Take the gifts offered you and dedicate them to the well-being of all. Share with all, beginning with your own. But be aware, all the glitters is not gold. Everything that's shiny is not gold. It is not always shiny. This is one thing here's what it makes me think of. This was my own journey as well. And every woman that I know, that we all get distracted by shiny objects. You have a path, you have a plan, you're doing something and you're following it and it's working, and then something quote unquote shiny comes to you. A new idea, a new opportunity, a distraction, if you will. The shiny object syndrome, that you drop what you're doing and you follow that path, that direction that might take you way too far off course of where you're trying to go, of who you're trying to become. And deciphering, that's going to be the key. Not everything that glitters is gold. Some things, yes, while many other things, no. They're meant to be a test provided to you by the universe to test you and your dedication to the things that you say you want to have, the things that you want to acquire, the person that you want to become, whether you're aware of who she is or not. Your dedication to your current path of the things that you say you want, the universe will test you. That's the job of the universe, to make sure that you know that this is what you want. And when you say enough, no thank you, no thank you, that this is not what I want, this is not the opportunity that I want, you will become in alignment with your journey, your destination, with your path. And you will have a lot less of those tests and shiny object experiences or syndromes. And they can come through in many different ways. And one point in my life, it was all these different things in a form of lessons, the things that I could learn and learn and learn. So I spent a long time learning all these different things. And I really struggled to apply what I learned. And then I just took on applying everything I learned. I cut off all the learning. I stopped learning because I've learned more than enough. I just needed to start implementing everything I learned. And I started implementing. And then there were more challenging tests by, ooh, this is exactly what you say you want in terms of what you want to learn next and the path you want to go on next. But I reminded myself that the goal wasn't to learn, the goal was to apply. So I ignored those things and I continued to apply and apply and apply. And it brought me here. It's continuing to bring me onto the next steps, onto the next steps, and onto the next steps. Closer, much closer to where I want to be in life and who I want to be in life. And honestly, this is where we start to also regain a lot of our power and a lot of our confidence back, because you're no longer distracted. You're focused. And we got to learn to be laser focused on the things that we say we want and stay clear to that course. And for many of us, it means consistent reminders of what we say we want. For me, it's in the form of rewriting my goals and my dreams every single week, and sometimes every day. But initially it was every day, now it's every week because they're already right here. And I will tell you, that's a massive hack, by the way. This is how you get to achieve and reach your goals and dreams almost like seamlessly, and it just everything unfolds in the way that it's meant to, that you have those things. I can't even tell you for how long I've had a dream and a goal of having a cottage on a big piece of land that was private and that was beautiful and that was forested and had a hiking area and it had water. And we achieved it this summer. And it took dedication to not follow each and every shiny object, because there's going to be many. Each one is going to be a test. Rebecca says, just because we admire something doesn't mean it's meant for me. 100% true. Just because it sounds perfect does not mean it's actually perfect. That could be um, like the devil in disguise, right? The distraction in disguise that just takes you way too far. And then Bonnie says, integrating and applying is the fun part. Yeah, it definitely is. Initially, it might not feel like it. It usually doesn't feel like the fun part for many women, especially the good girls. It doesn't feel like fun because many of them get into the avoidance habits of learning and learning and learning, which really causes them to avoid taking action. But once you get into this groove of learn, apply, learn, apply, learn, apply, it becomes a habit. It becomes something that you become and teaches you consistency. And that's when you really start to regain yourself. Tammy says, hey, Yana. Hey, Tammy. How are you doing, beautiful? How was your weekend? I heard you learned a few things over the weekend as well. Okay, so let's keep going with the reading. Um, but beware, all that glitters is not gold. Select the precious treasures that will further your spiritual growth. And avoid the shiny objects that are empty of real value. That's an interesting phrase. Empty of real value. A lot of these things that we think are perfect and they are ideal, they hold no value for us. Know that the hoard does not belong to you. It belongs to our grandchildren. What is the inheritance that you wish to leave for tomorrow? What seeds are you planting that you will harvest in your old age when you are weary? What seeds will bear fruit after you no longer here? That's what makes me think of money. A lot of us think it's money, but if you have a lot of money and you leave that money to your kids that have no idea what to do with it, it will be gone in weeks, months, maybe years. But if you educate yourself, you educate your kids on the importance of money, of relationships, and how to manage all of these different things, that is the legacy that all of us want to leave behind for our kids. We don't want our kids to be dependent on us. We want our kids to be independent. And we want our kids, biggest part of independency is our kids doing everything that they're meant to do without anyone babying them, without anyone holding their hand, without anyone telling them what to do and how to do it, because that's not where freedom is. We want our kids to experience true freedom, and that comes from within. So learning all these things ourselves firsthand, and that is how we can teach them. We learn, apply, teach. Learn, apply, teach. When you learn, you learn. When you apply, you learn the things that you learned even deeper. And then when you teach, you learn even more about what you've learned, what you applied, and now what you're teaching. That is the process in life as well. But if you're learning and learning and learning, you're missing the part where you apply, because you get to learn a lot more through application. That's the first-hand experience of practice, right? It's like, imagine if you got a job, and at this job, you learn everything on the screen. This is what you do, this is how you do it, this and this and this, and you were explained everything in great detail. Now go and do it all on your own. Or go teach someone else how to do it. And you have no actual first-hand experience. It's like, think back to when you worked in the corporate world, right? Whether it was a fast food restaurant, whether it was an actual corporation, wherever it was. And you had the big kahuna, as I like to call them, the boss, the CEO, come and tell you how to do your job when they've never worked a day in their life. at your job. They have no idea what it's like. And they're telling you what to do. They can't. They have no experience. They don't understand it. They can end up doing more damage than good. So with ourselves, with our kids, with our friends and family, we gotta lead by example. And that means we learn ourselves, we apply, we learn from all of those things, and then they will mimic us. They will mimic what we're doing by doing it themselves. A lot of it actually happens unconsciously. We learn a lot of things and absorb a lot of things unconsciously. So, with these questions, what is the inheritance you wish to leave for tomorrow? Makes me think of, don't put off what you can do today for tomorrow. Is that what you want to do? Is that how you want to live your life? Put off doing the things you want to do, even the things that you have to do sometimes. Because let's be honest, the things that we have to do, they drain us. They really drain us. So in order for us to get rid of that drain, we must do those things. And once we do those things, we feel like, oh, now I can breathe and relax. So why put that off? Why put off feeling good and relaxed for tomorrow, for later, when you can just do it and get it done now and feel good and relieved? Like you can breathe, like you have all this time in the world and all this energy in the world because you were putting something off. We've all done that, and we all still find ourselves doing that. But the difference is this a norm for you? Is this how you exist right now? Or is this something that you're overcoming continuously or have already overcome? Recognizing where we are and accepting it. Because without accepting it, we can't move on. Then we just continue to punish ourselves by shaming ourselves, by guilting ourselves, but in the end still avoiding taking that real action that we're meant to take. It's another form of avoidance, this self-punishment. Okay, let's continue with the reading. The dragon guards the legacy of the future. All who come empty-handed or to fill only their own pockets with gold lie in a dusty heap of bones. Makes me think of self-centered. Those who are self-centered and they just come to take. They're the ones that stay in the dust, that stay behind, the dusty heap of bones. But those who come and learn and want to share their hoard, want to share their hoarded knowledge, the hoarded experience, their even maybe financial hoard of what they have earned over the lifetime. Those are the ones that will live on, so to speak. You have been allowed entrance by virtue of your kindness or your spiritual practice or sheer luck, which means you're here for a reason. This hoard in front of you is for a reason. Consider as well that your present, this moment, is the future to the dragon. You may be the one we have all been waiting for. So do not hesitate to take what bequests has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. This is the time to be bold. Do not delay or overthink. Remember to bring an offering for the dragon, lest it believe you are its lunch. You don't want to be eaten by this dragon. You got to bring an offering. A simple prayer will do. What comes to mind as I'm reading this part, especially in the end, is my offering to all of you. One thing I recognized through a couple of conversations that I had with women is that when we did the 21-day challenge, many of you actually believe that it was just that one time and that was it, and you couldn't have access to it anymore. Whereas that is not the reality. That is not the truth. And the truth is that you can go through the 21-day challenge. You can gain access to it. If you're interested, reach out to me and I'll give you the link, or you might even find the link in the group as well. But if you don't want to spend time looking for it and searching for it, just reach out to me and I will give you the link. All the information is on that link about the challenge, and you can sign up for it and you can go through it. It's not in the Facebook group anymore. It's on a separate course website where every single day you'll have access to one lesson, the next lesson with its corresponding workbook, and you go through it on your own within the 21 days. And those of you who have gone through it or are going through it, feel free to share your experience with it. I'll just share it in a nutshell. Is you get to know yourself, who you are, who you're being. You start to regain your confidence. You start to build the habit of consistency by showing up every day, doing the lesson, doing the workbook every day. And that is where you will start to, like I said, build your habit of consistency. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. So which means that as you start building this habit of consistency with the 21-day challenge, within the 21-day challenge, you'll notice that transferring itself through all the other parts of your life. Well, you'll notice yourself showing up consistently in other areas of your life where you are ready to do that. So let me quickly look through the comments as that concludes the reading. Rebecca says it takes bravery and courage, 1,000%. Tammy said good, yes. And then Bonnie said, I use my gardening, a job where a job we have to do to integrate knowledge I gain. Where'd it go? Knowledge I gain, deep rooted, higher flying. Yes, that's a beautiful practice as well. And I love gardening. That's one of the ways that I practice allowing myself to be present in the present moment, because I recognize when I was gardening, I wasn't fully allowing myself to be present. All these, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, or it's taking too long. I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done. I must use my time in a different way because I'm wasting my time with this, or because this needs to get done, or that needs to get done, or this task needs to be completed, or that task needs to be completed. So for me, it was the space where I could actually hear who I was being and my programming. And I learned to work through it, to heal through it, and to question and coach myself through it, and allow myself to be present. It was like a teacher for me. And then because I loved doing it, I recognized that because I loved doing it, there was part of me that was not allowing me to love and enjoy and actually do those hobbies that I loved and enjoyed doing. It was another form of punishment that I wasn't allowed to do things because, I mean, some crazy reasons where, oh, the dishes need to be washed because that's more important than me actually enjoying myself, as one example. Tammy said, yes, mine don't listen because I did everything for them. That's the other part as well with our kids, when we do a lot of the things for our kids. And Tammy said, I didn't know any better. That is where a lot of women that are awakening, actually all the women finding themselves, is that I did the things that I did in the way that I did because I didn't know any better. And that is true. That is reality. Just think about how our parents might be or are punishing themselves and not sharing those experiences with us. They did the best they knew how and what to do based on access to the knowledge that they had at that time, which was not what we have access to now. Like now in this day and age, yes. But what about 10 years ago, 20 years ago? We had even we had less access to the knowledge and information that we do now. And also could be, positive and negative to it, because just because you have all this access to all of this knowledge now does not mean it's the right one or the right one for you and for your family. You still need to figure things out and decipher what's for you and what's not, what's good and what's bad, and then apply and test it out and then see, well, that wasn't so good. I remember here's a little bit of a mom story for you from me that I felt ashamed of for a long period of my life, and I felt really guilty about. When our daughter was really little, one thing I learned from other people and from online as well is in order for our daughter to listen to us and do as she's told, essentially gain control, was to have a bad girl chair. That if she's not doing what we want her to do, get her to go and sit in the bad girl chair. Can you imagine what that does to a child and how it programs a child? She became the ultimate good girl. Now, of course, she's learned a great deal since I began awakening and realizing and learning and rewriting the wrongs, so to speak. But I did what I believed in my core was the best and the most genius approach and idea. What I now recognize was breaking my child's spirit and will to obey and behave or else, to be a good girl or else. Putting our kids in the corner as a punishment. That's how I was raised. It worked, so to speak. So it must work on them. And that didn't last very long because I was already starting to awaken and I saw things for what they were. So stop doing that. But, once you say something, you can't unsay it. Once you do something, you can't undo it. Once the damage is done, the damage is there. It might not be as damaging, but it's still there. So I've been doing work with my kids, obviously not directly talking about the past and bringing those things up, but helping them as a coach with anything that they're going through, with anything that they're dealing, and helping them to be independent, helping them to get to know themselves in the process and not allow other people to take advantage of them because of their good nature. Because a good girl will sacrifice herself until there is nothing left. Till there's nothing left. Until she feels empty in a shell. And the good boy, the same thing. And I don't want that future for my kids. I experienced that future myself, and I don't want that for them. So I needed to focus on me, work on me, and lead by example. Show them, not tell them. Nobody really learns from being told, but everybody learns from watching and observing. And then through doing. So that's a little bit of a story of how we as parents, we do the best that we believe is the best, to the best of our knowledge, to the best of our abilities, to the best of our experiences. We are doing the best that we can, the best that we have access to. And then when we learn that this is not the best, this was maybe the worst, the key is to not allow that to keep us hostage, is to then recognize that wasn't the smartest, that wasn't the best. What can I do about it now? Right? What's the opportunity in this? How can I help myself and help them, whoever else was involved, and move through it? Rebecca says, true. And I learned to have parents with my loved ones. Patience, sorry. I learned to have patience with my loved ones as I create boundaries, as I do have to consistently reinstate and repeat myself. They are just not used to the new version and new habits and lifestyle. I say mom is off and the off the clock. It's Cinderella clock. Cinderella doesn't. Yeah. The thought that came to mind was when the part with the consistent reminders. When it's important to people, they will remember. So helping them see the value and the importance of the boundaries that are set will help them to remember. And reminding them is actually doing them and everyone disservice, because I don't have to remember. Mom will always remind me, which means that they don't have to be responsible for remembering because mom will always remind me. Just like getting ready for school, for a job, waking up, brushing teeth, all of these different things, we can continue to remind them, or we can help them to see the importance of that action or that behavior for themselves, so they take on that responsibility and they remember without having to be reminded all the time, because reminding becomes a whole job, and we don't want our kids to be dependent on mom or dad reminding them of whatever it is that needs to be reminded. We want them to remember because it's important to them, what's in it for them, and not what's in it for you. Because let's be honest, yes, they do care what's important for mom, but at the end of the day, they care more about what's important for them, what they want, what's in it for them. And that is in the way getting their buy-in. And once they have their buy-in, no one can buy them out. Okay, so that's how I'm going to wrap it up. That's how I'm going to end it. So thank you, everybody, for being on here with me with this card reading that was about Dragon's Hoard, protecting your future, and your future is now. What you do today will determine your tomorrow, and what you don't do today will determine your tomorrow as well. So make sure that you don't put off things that can be done today for tomorrow, because it will add to your stress. It will add to your worries. It will add to your anxieties. Do it today, not tomorrow. Whatever it is that you're trying to put off. And you know what I'm talking about. We all have something. So go and do it. Otherwise, we will see each other next week for another one of these weekly live card readings, live in this group, Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. So if you're not in here and you're listening to this video, to this podcast on a different platform, come check out the group, see if this is the tribe and the community you're looking for. If not, no hard feelings, keep looking for your home. And otherwise, I'll see the rest of you, or some of you, tomorrow at the Sacred Circle at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, where Bethany will be leading with breath work and a short little meditation ceremony. So we'll see you all there. or my live after the what is it called? After the Sacred Circle at 11:45 on my personal page. Have an amazing the rest of your day. And until we see each other next time. Bye, everybody.